All right, let's dive right in. Today we're exploring Lesson 67 from A Course in Miracles.
Ah, yes. Love created me like itself.
Exactly. This lesson really encourages us to see ourselves differently.
It asks us to see beyond the ego's usual narrative, the one that's always pointing out our mistakes.
Oh, I know that one all too well.
Right. It's that voice that makes us feel unworthy or not good enough. But this lesson is all about recognizing a deeper truth. It's worth hearing the whole lesson, though, to really let the message sink in.
Okay, Lesson 67. It says, "Love created me like itself." Today's idea is a complete and accurate statement of what you are. This is why you are the light of the world. This is why God appointed you as the Savior of the world. This is why the Son of God looks to you for his salvation. He is saved by what you are. We will make every effort today to reach this truth about you and to realize fully, if only for a moment, that it is the truth. In the longer practice period for today, we will think about your reality and its wholly unchanged nature. We will begin by repeating this truth and then spend a few minutes in adding some relevant thoughts, such as, holiness created me holy, kindness created me kind, helpfulness created me helpful, perfection created me perfect. Any attribute which is in accordance with God as he defines himself is appropriate. We are trying today to undo your definition of God and replace it with his own. We are also trying to emphasize that you are part of his definition of himself. It's like we're being asked to redefine our understanding of who we are.
And to redefine our understanding of God as well, recognizing that we're part of that divine definition.
It's beautiful in theory, but I think we all have moments where it's tough to really connect with that truth. You know what I mean?
I do. We're human, right?
Yeah, like imagine making a mistake at work and suddenly your inner critic starts going crazy.
Don't remind me. It's like a broken record sometimes.
How do we reconcile this concept of inherent perfection with the fact that we mess up sometimes?
Well, instead of getting trapped in that ego-driven narrative.
The one where we beat ourselves up.
Exactly, that one.
Yeah.
We can pause and choose a different way to respond.
So it's about creating some space between what happens and how we react.
You got it. And in that space, we have the opportunity to remember the truth.
The truth being that we're creations of love, inherently worthy and whole.
When we consciously choose to focus on these truths, we align ourselves with a different energy. It's like shifting from fear and judgment to love and acceptance.
I like that. But how do we make this practical? Let's say you're facing a tough situation at work. Your boss isn't happy with a project.
Oh, I've been there.
And you're feeling stressed, inadequate, the whole 9 yards. How can we actually apply the principles of Lesson 67 in a moment like that?
The key is remembering that your true identity isn't defined by that situation or by anyone else's perception of you.
So even if my boss is unhappy with my work, it doesn't change who I am at my core.
Exactly. You are still a creation of love regardless of what's happening around you.
So even though those feelings of inadequacy might be there, I don't have to let them define me.
You got it. We can acknowledge those feelings without letting them become our truth. It's about choosing to respond from a place of love and understanding, and towards the other person involved too, even if their behavior is challenging.
That sounds really hard, especially when you're feeling triggered or defensive.
I hear you. It definitely takes practice. It's a conscious effort to choose love over fear.
But the more we do that, the more we create space for healing and transformation.
Both within ourselves and in our relationships.
You know, that really resonates with me. It's like we're choosing to approach these situations from a higher perspective. One that's rooted in love and understanding rather than fear and judgment.
That's the heart of it, really.
It makes you think about how often we react out of fear without even realizing it.
It does, doesn't it? It's like we're operating on autopilot. It's interesting, isn't it? This idea that by changing how we see ourselves, we can actually change how we interact with others.
It makes sense. If we're treating ourselves with more kindness and understanding, it would probably spill over into our relationships.
It does.
How does this lesson apply when we're dealing with someone who's being difficult or maybe even hurtful?
Well, that's where this idea of inherent perfection really comes into play. Lesson 67 encourages us to remember that everyone, no matter how they're behaving,
Is still a creation of love?
Precisely. It doesn't mean we condone hurtful actions, of course.
Right. It's not about saying it's okay for someone to treat us poorly.
Exactly. It's more about choosing to see beyond the surface level.
So holding on to that awareness of their inherent goodness, even when their actions aren't reflecting that.
It's a radical shift, really. instead of getting caught up in judging and blaming.
Which is so easy to do, especially when you're feeling hurt.
It is. But instead of doing that, we can try to understand the fear or pain that might be driving their behavior.
It's like recognizing that their actions are more about their own internal struggles.
Than a direct attack on us. Right. It's not really personal, even if it feels that way.
And understanding that can help us to approach the situation with more compassion.
And less reactivity. Definitely easier said than done, though. Let's say you're dealing with a coworker who's constantly undermining your work.
Ugh, I've had my fair share of those.
It's so hard not to take it personally or get defensive.
It is. But instead of getting pulled into that ego-driven back and forth.
You know, that whole thing of trying to prove yourself right.
Yes. Instead of that, imagine pausing and silently affirming their inherent worth.
Even though they're acting like a jerk?
Even then,
Yeah.
Remember, it's not about condoning their behavior.
So it's about choosing to respond from a place of inner peace.
Yes, rather than getting hooked into the drama.
It's like we're taking the high road.
You could say that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we become doormats or tolerate harmful actions.
Right, we can still set boundaries and stand up for ourselves.
Absolutely. But we do it from a place of clarity and compassion, rather than anger or resentment. This lesson ties everything together. It's a thread that runs through all aspects of our lives.
It does, doesn't it? It's about remembering who we really are and extending that understanding to everyone we encounter.
It's like we're creating space for more love to enter our lives.
That's the beauty of forgiveness. It sets us free. That's a beautiful way to put it.
This episode is already shifting my perspective on so many levels. Before we wrap up this part of our discussion,
Yes.
I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about extending this understanding to ourselves.
Yes. Self-forgiveness. It's a crucial piece of the puzzle.
Lesson 67 really highlights that idea of recognizing our own inherent perfection, which I have to admit can be tough to grasp sometimes. It's almost easier to see the good in others than to see it in ourselves.
But the Course encourages us to turn that same loving gaze inward, to embrace ourselves fully, even with those imperfections.
It's funny because we hear so much about self-love these days, but it's often presented in a way that feels conditional.
You're right. There's this idea that we need to achieve certain things or meet certain standards to be worthy of love.
Yeah, it's like self-love with an asterisk,
Exactly. And that's just the ego trying to keep us trapped.
trapped in that cycle of comparison and self-doubt.
True self-love, as we're exploring it here, it's about recognizing our inherent worthiness regardless of external factors.
So it's about accepting ourselves as we are, flaws and all.
You got it. And that can feel radical in a world that's constantly pushing us to strive for more, to be better.
It does. It challenges that whole idea that we always need to be improving, fixing, changing.
It does, doesn't it? Because self-love in this context is about recognizing that we're already whole and complete just as we were created.
It's not about being arrogant or self-centered.
No, not at all. It's about aligning with the truth of our being. We've been conditioned to believe our worth is tied to our achievements or appearance. So notice the negative self-talk, the criticisms, the judgment.
Becoming aware of those patterns is the first step. And once you become aware of those negative patterns, you can ask yourself, are those thoughts really true? Or are they just echoes of old conditioning and limiting beliefs?
We're fact-checking our inner critic.
That's a great way to put it. Remember, the ego thrives on keeping us small and fearful.
So by questioning those thoughts, we start to dismantle the ego's hold. Repeating positive statements about yourself, even if you don't fully believe them at first, can help to reprogram your subconscious mind.
So instead of saying, I'm not good enough, we could say, I am worthy of love and happiness just as I am.
And it's important to feel the truth of those words as you say them. Don't just repeat them mechanically. Let them resonate in your heart.
Lesson 67 really offers a profound roadmap for navigating life's challenges with grace and awareness.
It reminds us that true happiness isn't found in external circumstances, but in realizing our inherent perfection as expressions of love.
It all comes back to love, doesn't it? Whether we're dealing with difficult situations, challenging relationships, or our own inner critic.
Choosing love is the path to true peace and liberation.
And that's a message we could all use a little more of these days.
And remember, the journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening is ongoing. There will be moments of clarity and moments of doubt.
So be gentle with yourself.
Keep practicing and trust that you are always guided and supported by a love that knows no bounds.